Max, I'm sure it's always special to work with your brother, but what did it mean for you to both be working on a franchise as iconic as Batman? I'm sure that had to be a childhood dream.
Oh, definitely. Definitely a childhood dream. I mean, I remember, Charlie and I grew up with a very limited amount of TV time every week, but on the weekends we would watch these movies and just kind of going, man, I wonder what it'd be like to be a part of that. So when we found out we were cast in The Batman, one of the most iconic franchises of all time, it was just like, I still can't believe it. I was joking with Charlie earlier. I'm on set right now, and the Batmobile is behind me, and Batman and Penguin are over there. And what am I doing here? Um, but I think the other thing too is anytime you get a new gig and are tasked with this new role, it's getting ready to show up as a pro. And I think what's wonderful about working with my brother is that I get to do that with someone, and we get to do it together and support each other in that process. So whether that was the physical training or the stunt work or whatever, we always got to roll together, which was a blast.
That's awesome. And Charlie, your characters are just known as the twins in the film, and we don't get much names or backstories. So I wanted to ask you, like, did you take any inspirations from any comic characters? There's a lot of twins in shows there. And did you give yourselves names, a backstory? How did you flesh out your character?
We did both recognize that there are a lot of characters, particularly even in the Batman series, that are twins. But what was so nice about the Batman is it feels like an origin story, even though it's year two for Batman himself and for a lot of these other characters. So what we focused on more, I think, was the backstory about getting into this criminal underworld. What would that feel like? What would we have been exposed to? And kind of keeping energies open for wherever the twins might go, however they might evolve.
I think, you know, we were also just looking at our relationship with the penguin because we're almost like his little pit bulls, um, and and it was so much fun once we were on set too, developing a kind of a relationship with Colin. Like it starts to just feel, wow, these relationships I've imagined, this story that I've spent some time on in my head is now unfolding both when camera's rolling and when it's not. So that's always a trip.
That's awesome. And Max, like Robert Pattinson really transformed into Batman. What was it like being on the other side of a Batman beating? The fight scenes are so great. There's so much great choreography.
Yeah, I mean, Rob was so impressive because we would kind of work on these, getting the timing right, getting the feel right, because it has to be more than just action. It has to have a story and an impact on the audience. And I know that the vibe was just something really visceral. And it's one thing to be there on set because you might work with the stunt crew and shoot the reverse or whatever and go through it, and it's exactly as you rehearsed. When Rob comes in, he throws down. I remember Rob, like, I remember at one point his fist just kissing the tip of my nose, and if the stunt guys were at this speed, like bah, 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 Rob would come in and would be like bah, 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 and he'd go, oh my god, like this is real. But it really gave that visceral quality to those scenes, and it was a freaking blast. And then they'd call cut and Rob would just be laughing or giggling, and you're like, all right, this is wild.